Good afternoon. If you take a good look at this picture over here, he looks like he has a dark suit. She looks like she's dressed in black. Okay, that's to start with. It's almost like they're on their own. My first vision and my first thought ever, right? Remember, is it blonde? Was his father blonde? Why is he a redhead? Who was a redhead? Regardless, this color in Harry, the word Harry Eugene, Houdini, uh, I believe, I don't know why, and it's been a few years, maybe because of who I am and how I think, that this gentleman is going to make a big change in the world. Almost like saying it's going to be Harry versus Andrew in the near future. Somehow, some way. Liberation is on the way. Another thing is, I wanted to talk about understanding energy. I'd like to understand how I can go ahead and make my apartment building. I wanted, sorry, I shouldn't have said it that way. I want to know, I mean, Tesla said there's energy in the air. How can I get that energy? I'm going to have to look it up. Um, Genetically enhanced, G and E, the same numeric numbers they use for the moon. Religion, 1010011. Religion, the Legion. Legion, how about taking out G and I, which is for birth gateway? The ion, right? This is for people who know their the periodic table, mixing up periodics. How the deck of cards is actually showing us electrons and how they work. The number 75 is for GE, the electric moon, and everything that has to do with the 70 category, the 60s category, the 50 category, the 40 category. Where do we get these numbers? How is 40 and 60 the same? How is 30 and 70 come together? 80 and 20, 90 and 10. Why do I talk about these numbers this way? Because somehow I think the groupment of all numbers lands itself right over here. For instance, 1 month of 29 days, 28 days, 4 months of 30 days, and 7 months of 31 days. Where an average of one between two, you need three. Where 369 all come back to 369. 3 and 3 is 6. 6 and 9 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. Your 15 is over here. 6 and 3 is 12. 3 and 9 is 12. 1 and 2 is over here. 9, 6, and 3 is 18. 1 and 8 is here. 9, 9, 18, and 6, 2 and 4 is here. 9, 9, 18, and 3, 1 and 2 is here. So all these numbers will create these two, and these two will create all of these. So I run everything off of 1, 4, and 7. So when I'm talking about the 1 area, I'll take 1 and 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. Every time you get a 10, okay, you have to understand there's let's call it a deductibility, where we have to understand what does it mean. There's lots of things depending on what game we're talking about. If we're talking about the cube, if we're talking about quarters, we'll say there's 2 halves to a year. The 3 parts to a year, there's 4 quarters, right? Or there's 3 parts of 4 months each. Either we're talking to hockey, where you go 3 periods, or you're talking to football, where you go 4 periods, or you're talking about soccer, when you go in 2 halves. You're talking about baseball, where the inning, okay, the inning that makes it official is only the 5th inning, okay, for a rainout, right? But we only stand up, right, when we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," when we're already there. And that's the bottom of the 6th, where there's 18 outs for one team and 21 outs for the other team. 1 and 8 equals 9. 2 and 1 equals 3. See the way it creates 1, 2, 3. and then 8, 9. Anyways, 17 at the top, 6 at the bottom. I don't even want to talk about that. Just take me out to the ball game. 18 and 21, okay, in roulette will connect 18, then 21. It connects the two numbers. The highest, you see, you don't come, I don't believe energy, or we don't come into the world until 369, right? Because all these are inside of these, right? 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 3 times 7 is 21. 2 and 1 is 3. 3 by 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 5 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. 3 times 8 is 24. 2 and 4 is 6. Notice the way they all create crisscross and X's. The star system. The addition, 4 and 2, 6, 6, or the multiplication, or the addition, which is 9 and 3. The addition, or the multiplication sign, where 7 and 5 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3, 8 and 4 is 12. Where 7 and 4 is 11, 8 and 5 is 13, equals to 2 and 4 equals to 6. The addition, 4 different corners. 7 and 4, 11, 5 and 8, 13. They stand with 0 below 1. The telephone is a little bit different. We have to look at the telephone a little bit different. They put the 0 between the star. Where do I have a telephone here? In my pocket. I'm taking my bike, drive down the street, okay, and I'm crossing the road. Crossing the road. I don't know if I can show you this, but I'm crossing the road. This car, this guy, he's wearing a hoodie, and he's talking on his telephone. He cannot possibly see me over there crossing the street, although I should have went after the stop sign, then made my turn. I saw him on his phone. I was afraid if I did it that way, he might, have to slam on his brake. This guy, with his daughter in the car, about 30 years old, weighing about 180, 6 foot 5'11", let's say 5'10", has the audacity to speed up and cut in front of me and start screaming at me that it was my fault. Anyways, let's go back to the numbers on the phone. See the way we have the 0 over here? What happened? Somehow it disappeared. See where the 0 is between the number sign and the star? And then we take out this piece of instrument here, right, where we have the number sign, I think, is usually on the 3, and the star is on the 8. Now, when we talk about that, now I go to the game of Baccarat, where when the 3 comes, when you have a 3, 2 cards of 3 in Baccarat, look up the game, whatever, regardless of what it is, and you get an 8. The house does not get a card. Everything stops on that. C and H. 3 and 8. Now, what is 8? If you look at the deck of cards, the 8 card has 3 upside down, the 5 that are the other way. 3 and 5 is 8. 3 is inside of 8. At the same time, 3 is part of 5. And that's the energy. Any craps? Any craps? Now we have to go to the game of dice in the casino and understand the game of craps. They say any craps, okay? Any is A, craps is C, but the initials to bet on it is C and E, and that's for Christ. And that is the energy level. C and E is 3 and 5. 3 is made up of 2 and 1, and 2 times 1, 2 plus 1 will equal 5. The difference is 2. The second planet, Venus, connected to Neptune. Anyways, I'm going to stop right here right now. We have a 12-hour clock, but we only have 8 numbers that surround one area. But we have 12 hours. That's 1.5 times. That means if there's only 8 parts to the circle, that means the 24-hour clock ain't right. It's 3 hours per cycle, right? 8 by 3, 24. That means we're actually running 3 hours per cycle, according to the 368 ways to divide it. Or it's not only 8 ways, it's 8 times it's 9 times 45 degrees. I mean, on the dial tone, right? You can do it 10 times in the dial tone. Now, if it wasn't the dial tone, there's 10 times, and then there's an extra space. So that actually makes it 11 times. Plus the space between where that little thing is there shows to us it is 12. But there's only 2 sides. There's 6 sides to a dice. I'm just trying to show you there's 6 sides to a dice, but you only use 4 of the sides. So we have to work all these things together, how we can actually get to the 360 degrees of daytime. Now, if I was using it towards number 8, okay, that would be 8 o'clock twice around, or the 24-hour day, which leaves 180 minutes per part day, times 8 equals to 640 and 800, equaling to communication. X marks the spot. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus, explaining to you what I do, how to break down numbers. I like to use French and English. The 91 is for spirit. 29 is the birth in Venus, and it comes once every 4th year because of the 29th day. The command and the creation of Christ, 10, 11, and 12. Coming out of Saturn, something to do with dark energy. And again, there's energy in the sky. How can we all use it? Thank you for watching this video.